You know, some of the stuff that goes on in this country, which is the United States, sometimes it's like something out of a movie scene, bro.
2 people in custody tonight after the FBI search of a Diamond District pawn shop. The 2 men had been buying stolen luxury items from South American theft groups and then reselling them at their store.
So the owners of this store right here are in FBI custody for allegedly working with a South American robbery crew to sell stolen items, some of which were taken from the homes of professional athletes and other wealthy individuals all across America by a gang of Chilean immigrants residing in the U.S. illegally, living out a twisted version of the American dream with the alleged help of an American business.
You know what's crazy? We all know that illegal immigration is wrong because it's illegal, right? But there are people genuinely wanting to come to, there are people who are illegal immigrants who genuinely enter illegally with good intentions. They want what's best for their family. They just want good. They want a better lifestyle. They want more opportunities. And then you got people like that literally messing it up for people who actually want to do the right thing. It's kind of a weird situation because at the end of the day, they're still illegal immigrants. They're still coming through without permission and through the proper channels, so to speak. But it's like, because the border has been so open, people with good intentions who would have otherwise probably been able to just, what I'm basically saying is, had it not been for illegal immigrants committing crimes and doing things like that, I don't think that illegal immigrants would have been on Donald Trump's radar like that. But because there's so much crime going on with certain, you know, a certain portion of illegal immigrants, maybe not the majority, but maybe 10 to 15% is making the rest, is making them be like, basically kick all of them out.
Hence links one of the thieves busted robbing a football player's home to a pawn shop in Midtown Manhattan. But what nobody's talking about is this FBI bust reveals a shocking level of cooperation between illegal criminal gangs and New York City businesses that look and appear legitimate. And with one of these operations taken down right in the heart of Manhattan, you've got to wonder how many other predatory businesses like this are hiding in plain sight, especially when crime statistics show New York City has experienced an astronomical rise in moped-related snatch and grab robberies over the last 2 years. An 8,000% rise to be exact, with criminals stealing watches, purses, bags, and other valuables from unsuspecting victims in some of the city's richest neighborhoods. Which happened last summer when thugs approached customers at restaurants, forcing them to put their Rolexes in pillowcases before speeding off without getting caught.
You know, I don't really know much about migrant crimes because I just don't follow politics that much. But it seems like most of the crimes that are happening are usually in New York. I don't really hear about it in LA. I don't hear about it in Florida. I don't hear about it anywhere else but New York. And I think it's because New York is a sanctuary city. So because New York is a sanctuary city, meaning that you know, illegal immigrants are protected, police can't even, from my understanding, police can't even go inside and deport them because they're protected. They're a sanctuary city. They're protected by the state or something for us. I don't know. I think it has something to do with asylum or, yeah, no, it's something like that.
But it doesn't stop there. The city also saw a rise in robberies in Central Park and in Midtown by Times Square. And when you combine those with the out-of-control shoplifting epidemic we're experiencing, a troubling picture starts to emerge of a city flooded with so many illegally stolen items that they're now being sold openly at stores on the side of the street. And that brings us to the real reason why this bust is so important. It exposes a highly profitable industry that, when combined with New York's sanctuary city status, acts as a magnet to bring the world's worst criminals to our city, where we not only allow them to hide from the federal government while they live in taxpayer-funded homeless shelters, but also the opportunity to be the worst versions of themselves, all thanks to New York's decriminalization of petty theft and assault, which, as you're about to see, has created a pipeline of products stolen from the law-abiding and then sold on the streets of New York, of the business where this gang was allegedly able to sell off stolen property. And it's right in the heart of Midtown on 47th Street, 6th Avenue, the Diamond District. I got my wife's engagement ring here. Not at this place, at another place nearby. But the point is, this is an area full of legitimate businesses that have been here for decades. But hiding in plain sight was apparently a criminal operation of proportions nobody ever imagined.
Prosecutors say the men brokered the sale of countless pieces of stolen merchandise taken from across the United States by South American theft groups. The two were allegedly the middlemen, buying the loot from the thieves and selling it at their store. A customer of the pawn shop.
So what's unbelievable about this is that the store on the upper floors here, they're paying thousands of dollars a month to be right here in the middle of Manhattan, but they're selling stolen items from all across the country.
I'm not surprised at all. It's the jewelry business, bro. We all know that the jewelry, I don't even know how to say it, jewelry, whatever. The jewelry business is probably one of the most corrupt businesses. And I'm probably, maybe I'm thinking like that because of that movie Blood Diamonds. And I know Blood Diamonds, you know, it's a movie, but there's a lot of truth to it. Like, they made the movie because it's based on a true story. People are literally in Africa, like, losing their lives and being enslaved and risking their lives to get diamonds. And it's territorial, and you got this wars going on over diamonds. So if any business that's willing for people to be enslaved and to lose their lives and things like that for some money or for some jewelry, they'll do anything they'll hire some criminals to steal. Rolex watches, silver, diamonds, gold. The jewelry industry, in my opinion, doesn't have any morals, bro.
But before we get into this wild story about how a gang of foreign criminals was able to break into homes all across America, it's important to understand that this collusion of legitimate businesses and unlawful residents of this country is nothing new in America's largest sanctuary city, which is home to over 400,000 people who are illegally residing in the United States. Which creates a big problem. You've got a massive number of people who can't legally work yet need to feed themselves, pay rent, and buy clothing, creating an opportunity for businesses to prey upon these people or to team up with criminal gangs and then prey upon the rest of society.
A gang of Chilean migrants are accused of snapping brazen photos after allegedly storming Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's $7.5 million Ohio mansion. The alleged gangbangers also posed wearing the NFL star's JB9 and number 9 chain necklaces. Burrow's girlfriend.
So these guys that were running stolen products up to the third floor of this store right here, they might look like jokers from the photos they posted on social media, but they knew exactly where they were going, they knew how to get in, and this might not be the first celebrity's home they raided. However, the FBI says that stolen goods from multiple celebrity home invasions were being sold out of this particular business. The full extent to how those items got there has not yet been revealed by prosecutors. But the thing that's odd about this robbery is that these guys had no problem taking pictures and showing off with all their loot. Either this was their first time committing this sort of crime, or they'd done so many home invasions and successful raids that they figured nothing was going to happen to them and that they were invincible. And the amount of money they were making probably made them feel unstoppable.
Someone is trying to break into the house right now. My daughter is there. This is Joe Burrow's house.
Investigators say the two men are linked to a nationwide burglary ring targeting the homes of high-profile professional athletes. That includes Kansas City Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, NBA stars.
So what happened here is absolutely wild, and the details are incredibly shocking. Not just how the goods were stolen from this person's home, who did the stealing, and how they were offloaded right here, but this is not the only business in town which apparently has a no questions asked policy when it comes to buying things that walk in the door from people who might be criminals. In fact, everything that can be stolen gets stolen and resold here. You've got bodegas selling stolen food, clothing stores reselling stolen items from places like Macy's.
So there's 400,000, roughly 400,000 illegal immigrants in the state of New York or in New York City, but y'all call them undocumented immigrants. That doesn't make any sense. How are they undocumented, but you know it's 400,000? That logic don't make sense, and I know somebody can answer it in a super political way, but that don't make no sense. It's like, anyway, how are you a celebrity knowing that you got millions of dollars worth of items at your house, and you don't have top level security unless it was an inside job? But you don't have top level security, bro? And you are an NFL player? That's ridiculous.
And if you're curious about how these gang members might have met these people, well, there's a whole bunch of stores here that all say they're willing to buy valuables that might be secondhand. These criminals could literally have just gone up and down the block with a briefcase full of stuff, showing it to people until they found a willing accomplice. And the crazy thing is, it looks like they would have gotten away with their heist if they hadn't done something really stupid.
Body camera footage showing 4 Chilean nationals being questioned by authorities last month in Ohio.
Where are you guys headed to today, sir? Orlando? Wrong way. Florida's that way.
The man in the front passenger seat wearing a Cincinnati Bengals beanie, Burrow's team, and in the trunk, a Louis Vuitton bag and a shirt from LSU, where Burrow played in
A traffic stop. These guys were brought down by bad driving. Their car was full of stolen belongings, and the officer asked them where they were going, and they said, "Oh, we're going to Florida." And the officer's like, "Guys, Florida's that way." And this is crazy. They had $300,000 worth of valuables from this guy's home. The homeowner is signed to a 5-year, $275 million contract, which had a $40 million signing bonus. So he's incredibly wealthy. And apparently his home had security guards there, but these guys got in when the shift changed, revealing an incredibly high level of sophistication to this raid. And apparently they had planned this out in advance. They did not just show up, break the window, and steal whatever they could find, not knowing whose it was. Apparently the authorities found photos of the home in question on their cell phones that were taken prior to the break-in. And then they discovered something else that tied them to the owners of this business right here.
There were 4 men arrested for that, and according to federal prosecutors, one of the defendants, Djinsky, his cell phone is connected to the 2 men who were arrested in that case. So that was the connection to Joe Burrow. They're still trying to sort out all of the victims and identify the property in this case.
Wow, that is way more than some casual relationship. The people that ran this business were in direct contact with this gang that was out robbing celebrities' homes. And that could mean one of two things. It could mean that the owners of this business have the cell phone numbers of a lot of people who bring them expensive stuff. After all, there's a lot of businesses on this street that have rare and expensive things. And the last thing you want is for your customer to be standing outside your front door with a briefcase full of this stuff in New York City. It would be incredibly bad for business if one of your customers was followed and tracked down while making a delivery. And if you're headed to a New York City pawn shop or jewelry exchange and you get there and the door's locked, that could be a big problem. So maybe the cell phone connection, not that big of a deal. Or it could mean that these guys were in cahoots and they were in contact with these criminals as they were premeditating which homes they were going to hit up. Only time will tell.
The whole shift change thing at the celebrity or the NFL player's house kind of supports my theory that it was an inside job, because at first I was kind of questioning it. Then I started thinking, like, logically, like, unless it was an inside job. So you mean to tell me that they got past top level security when a shift change happened? That still don't even add up, bro. So we already know that the jewelry companies, right, were allegedly, I'll say we don't know, allegedly the jewelry companies were working with the migrants who were, you know, stealing from the celebrity homes. We know that was an inside job, so to speak. But I'm talking about an inside job with the security guards that work for those celebrities' houses. That's what I'm talking about. Had to be an inside job. Had to be. They had to break off some of them security guards some type of money. 5, 10,000. Would they take $100,000 profit? Ain't nothing to break off $5,000, $10,000. $15,000. That ain't nothing. I feel like that's what happened.